And now for trivia for Tron Ares. I just did my review, and it is up on my other channel. I will be doing trivia here, and then fan reviews. The first one is oranges and orange tree are used for testing the ability to synthesize objects from the digital world. In Tron 1982, the very first item digitized was an orange. That's cool. On April 29, 2024, it was announced by Disney that Jeff Bridges would return, making him the only actor to appear in all 3 films. Nice. The real-world motorcycles used in this movie are Ducati, which was also the same make as the bike ridden by Sam Flynn in Tron Legacy 2010. Cool. Originally titled Tron Ascension, the film was conceived as a direct sequel to Tron Legacy 2010, slated to go into production around 2012. Script issues caused the film to be delayed several years in 2015. At that point, the box office failure of another Disney sci-fi film, Tomorrowland, in 2015, along with the release of the first of the Disney-era Star Wars projects, resulted in cancellation of Tron Ascension. Wow. Years later, with the onset of the 2023 WGA and SAG strikes, the script was pulled off the shelf and rewritten before getting thrown into production, so Disney would have a 2025 tentpole film for the fall. Wow. Interesting. I haven't seen Tomorrowland. I'm going to probably watch that one soon. In one of the archival video clips of Eve that Ares studies, she's wearing a Daft Punk shirt. Daft Punk composed the music for the previous Tron film, Tron Legacy, in 2010. Jared Leto spent the entire shoot in character as Ares. Oh my god. Oh yeah, I remember this. Oh my god. What a guy. I mean, that is, wow. That's some intense dedication. Jared Leto spent the entire shoot in character as Ares, not speaking to anyone unless necessary, and having everyone referring to him as such. Oh my god. Jeff Bridges was the only one who didn't follow this rule, reasoning that since his character Kevin Flynn is the creator of the grid, he's therefore above Ares and could call him whatever he wanted. So either Jeff Bridges didn't care or he is respectful. It seems like Jeff Bridges finding a respectful way rather than saying, "What? Stupid Jared, I'm not doing that crap." You know what I mean? He actually finds out a way that, like, hey, my character wouldn't do this, whatever. You know, so that's kind of cool, but this is, wow, Jared Leto, very weird. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing, but, I mean, maybe it helps just to not switch back and forth, just to kind of be the character for a bit, and then, I mean, it probably, I don't know, maybe he just can't do that. He can't come in, be the Joker, clock out, unjoker, go back to Jared, go home, come back, Joker, you know what I mean? Or come here and then Ares, and then go home, he's Jared, you know, and go to his cult stuff, whatever. No. So I don't get that. But anyways, but this is kind of interesting. During a car chase scene with the light cycle, a bus is involved. The destination shown at the destination box of the bus reads Mead Mobius. Sid, Mead, and Mobius were 2 main visual designers for the original Tron in 1982. That's awesome. The scene where Greta leads cornered on the dock, there's a sign on the building that says Dumont Recycling, the same building where Sam Flynn lived, and a reference to Dumont the Guardian Tower in Tron 1982. Awesome. The first Tron film not to feature actor Bruce Boxleitner as Tron/Alan Bradley. He has, however, encouraged fans to still support the movie. Nice. The ringtone on Seth's phone is a Solar Sailor theme from 1982. Pretty cool. The reason most of the plot takes place in the physical world was to keep the budget under control. And it still wasn't enough. Tron Legacy 2010 had gone massively over budget due to the extreme need for digital effects and special effects costumes. Wow. By contrast, this film only features a handful of program characters and a few scenes on the grid. Really? It seems like a lot of graphics. I mean, a lot of it's in the real world, but there's a lot of graphics. The end sequence with the recognizer coming in. I don't know. That's hard to believe. I mean, this movie still flopped. It still didn't make enough. They need to do what A24 does and keep the budget at 50 million so they can make, or 40, so they can make 80 to 100 and be fine. The first Tron movie not to be rated PG-13. The previous 2 films were PG. Okay. Then first encountering Eve and Seth, their jackets have the same shades of blue and yellow used in the original Tron movie for the light cycles. During the light cycle chase through the city, the camera pauses on a storefront for Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Enterprise was the presenting sponsor for the Tron Light Cycle Run, a roller coaster at Disney's theme parks. The ride concludes with a green light cycle with Enterprise branding. Wow. That's cool. Oh, wow. Jared Leto was paid $15 million, the biggest salary of his career. Wow. Good for him. In the scenes within the grid where the characters are traveling on the water, there are splashes on the camera lens. The simulated lens flare from these are squares, not circles, to represent that they are in the digital world. I saw that. That is insane. Little attention to detail like that is so crazy. The opening credits are a direct continuation of the ending credits of Tron Legacy, a continuous 360 floating cut at 90-degree angles of circuit lines. Only now to include new spots to advance the events between films. Wow. Although Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross have been composing music for films for some years now, including several Oscar wins, they were very surprised when Disney asked if they could be credited as their original band, 9 Inch Nails. The composers admitted that going by the original moniker gave them license to be more gritty in their approach. Nice. That's cool. The music is insane in this movie. It is so cool. During the bike chase sequence is a clear homage to the bike slide of 1988's anime Akira. Awesome. Yeah, I saw that. The real-world light cycle chase takes up 15 minutes of the running time and took 6 weeks of nighttime shoots, shutting down 10 blocks at a time. Remarkably, most of the special effects in the sequence were done practically. Wow, what? That's crazy. God, I swear there's a lot of CG, though. This is Jeff Bridges' first fictional role in a feature film since Bad Times at the El Royale 2018, 7 years previously. That's funny. This sequel was designed to be a moving on from previous iterations, taking the franchise in new directions, so Garrett Hedlund wasn't invited to return. Hedlund himself held no ill will, saying that he was excited to see what surprises the film would have. Shot over a period of 5 months in Vancouver. Wow. Shot under the working title of Velcro. For the film's UK premiere, London's iconic Piccadilly Circus were turned red for the occasion. Nice. The first Tron movie not to feature a song by Journey. Wow. Released 15 years after Tron Legacy 2010, and that time Jeff Bridges underwent cancer treatment. Oh my god. That's sad. Garth David was originally attached to direct before Joaquin Roning took over. I'm not familiar with his work. Now for spoilers for these bits of trivia. At the end of the film, Julian Dillinger runs a command on his computer that includes the word Sark. This was the name of the program written by his grandfather Ed Dillinger in Tron 1982. When in the Dillinger system, Julian is given an identity disc that matches Sark's disc, and upon grabbing the disc, Sark's original costume briefly flashes on screen. That's so cool. Like Daft Punk's cameo in Tron Legacy 2010, 9 Inch Nails members Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross cameo as F-35 pilots. Reznor was pilot number 1 and Ross was pilot number 2 in the credits. That's so cool. Yeah, Daft Punk wasn't the last one in that scene. They're just playing the music. The first thing Eve makes permanent from the digital world is an orange tree in the original movie, and orange is the first thing to be digitized and reconstituted. That's awesome. At the mid-credits, when Julian gets reverse transferred to his grid, when an identity disc shows up, it's a classic 82 disc as his grandfather's program Sark, as he becomes Sark. During the security breach scene by Dillinger into NCOM, the security officer coffee spill is a direct reference to the sequel Tron Legacy. When Sam Flynn was hacking the servers, the same cup of coffee fell. That's cool. When Ares enters Flynn's server, that the bit takes him to Flynn. When he drives, he goes through the crack in the game grid wall that Tron and Flynn made in the original Tron. Wow, I didn't notice that. I've saw Tron once a long time ago. Even though Sam Flynn is not physically present in the film, he's referenced four times, 2 in dialogue, a newspaper article, and 1 in a picture of him and Quora at the end of a picture when Ares is writing a postcard to Eve after they stopped Athena from taking over the world. This could be a setup to a Tron 4 if Tron Ares is successful. It's not successful, but guess what? They don't care. They're going to make it anyways. They don't care. In the post-credit scene, Evan Peters addressed a cool twist, stating it felt good to be in the grid. As for the reveal that Sark's program still existed after the events of Tron and has now fused with Julian, Peters expressed enthusiasm about being connected with such a pivotal character in the franchise. There's a lot of history in that character, and I was very excited to get in there, said Peters, before elaborating on his excitement for Julian being in the grid. Also, just to peek out at the whole world that wasn't really there, but it was cool to imagine it and feel the wind. It was cool. Eagle-eyed fans may have spotted this twist before it's revealed in the mid-credit scene, as Julian's monitor clearly read Sark when the program reached out to him. For those needing a refresher, Sark was a program created by the Elder Dillinger to serve as the Master Control Program's lieutenant. He was believed to be de-res along with the original MCP, thanks to the actions of Kevin and Tron in the first film. Master Control Program, I guess. Yeah, the original MCP. Wow. Pretty, I mean, see, it seems like elaborate or like complex, but it's like it's not, but like it has hints of complexity. It's pretty cool. The end scene where Ares rides to the sunset is a direct reference to the end scene in Tron Legacy where Sam and Quora ride to the sunset. Awesome. During the call between Julian Dillinger and AJ, Julian hangs up saying end of line, a reference to Daft Punk's track End of Line in Tron Legacy, which also references the original sign-off phrase of the MCP in the original Tron End of Line. Wow, that's awesome. While a Minecraft movie had the Depeche Mode track, Just Can't Get Enough, Tron Ares had the exact same song in the film to invoke emotion to Ares as he's learning who he is, foreshadowing when he meets Kevin Flynn in the 82 grid. This detail continues on as Kevin Flynn is guiding on Ares' journey to be fully human with the permanence code. Wow. And the last one is, this is the second movie with Jared Leto that features the search for an ancient secret of a deceased visionary, which is a piece of knowledge of such immense commercial value to an evil corporation that they're willing to kill for it. In Blade Runner 2049 and 2017, it was Leto's character, Wallace, who would stop at nothing to learn the secret to give his replicants reproductive capabilities. Wow. In order to create a self-propagating population of slaves. In Tron Ares, it is Julian Dillinger looking for the permanence code that will allow objects from the digital grid to be brought permanently into the real world. However, Leto plays the hero this time rather than the villain. I don't think I saw Blade Runner 2049. So Jared Leto is in that one too? Wow. And then the continuity, I guess, pretty hilarious. In the 82 movies game grid, when Tron, Rom, and Flynn escape on the light cycles, their jet walls disappear as their bikes leave through the crack in the wall. When Ares follows the bit through presumably the same crack, his jet wall doesn't disappear. Huh, well, I don't know, is that... Gotta be a reason. When Eve and Ares drive the white Shaddix minivan through the forest road, they encounter a barrier gate. In the shot approaching the gate's triangular-shaped end is on the right side of the van. Immediately in the shot as the van crashes through the gate, the triangular end is still on the right side of the van. This reveals that one of the shots of the gate was mirror reverse flipped horizontally in post-production. Okay. They tried to fix that one. That's interesting. Factual errors, okay? An F-35 pilot firing an air-to-air missile at a recognizer materialized on Earth announces the attack by saying missile away over the radio. Okay. The actual correct brevity code in use by the United States or other NATO air forces would be to announce Fox 2 for heat-seeking missiles or Fox 3 for active radar-guided missiles. The F-35 does not carry any type of semi-active radar homing missile, which would be called out with Fox 1 when fired. Okay. Incorrectly regarded as goofs. Athena generates a recognizer in the Dillinger system's hangar, though a fully assembled recognizer is larger than a hangar can accommodate. See, that's what I was thinking. Much less pass through the hangar door. Even Julian notes this. This is addressed, however, when the unfinished recognizer is seen sliding out of the hangar door mid-construction, though the particle laser array is seen constructing inside only. The completed recognizer is first seen when Athena pilots it toward NCOM HQ. What? Yeah, that is weird. They could have just had the roof open up, or so it goes out and then it just cuts, and then later we see it. That's so weird. That is really bizarre. This is addressed, however, when the unfinished recognizer is seen sliding out the hangar door mid-construction, though the particle laser array is seen constructing inside only. Huh. That is really weird. When a copy of Athena gets derezzed in the NCOM office, her laser remains there. It should have been derezzed also. The particle laser rifle Athena carries to NCOM HQ was not synthesized from the grid. It was handed to her by Julian's henchmen before she deployed from Dillinger's systems. What? That's weird. Revealing mistakes. In the film's conclusion, Ares is shown writing a postcard to Eve. Jared Leto's handwriting is large, sloppy, and takes up the entire message area. When Eve is shown holding the postcard, the handwriting is noticeably smaller and neatly written. Plot holes. During the first Tron movie, objects and people were digitized and then returned to the real world several times and suffered no ill effects. At the end of Tron Legacy, the character Quora was brought into the real world while it was still nighttime and was still fine when the sun rose. In this movie, anything that comes out dissolves at 29 minutes, which is a distinct discrepancy. Wow, okay. Character error. For military-trained personnel, it's considered a grave mistake to sweep the muzzle of a weapon anywhere near one of your allies, also known as flagging them with your weapon. When the Dillinger guards are carrying the digitizer laser near the end of the film, they sweep the muzzle of the weapon directly over Julian Dillinger standing beside them. Why can't they just have some people on set? Or like... There's just no excuse nowadays. You just can Google Grok or ChatGPT everything. Can you go through this script and find and then highlight any errors that don't make sense? And they'll be like, yeah, sure. So in the old movie, they could bring stuff out and there was no issues. But in this movie, there's a 29-minute limitation. What's up with that? And then the writer would be like, oh yeah. Okay, hold on. And fix it. So, I don't know. I still like the movie, though. I still recommend it. Very awesome movie. And then I'm just going to add a couple of the fan reviews on here. Might as well. It has 1,085 reviews. Wow, real mix of stuff so far. 1 out of 10, idiotic. I would say that for the sake of the story, I'm capable of accepting dumb, idiotic inconsistency to a fairly high level. I made it 10 minutes into this movie before I had to turn it off and get away from the TV. Oh, you watch it on the TV. Do not watch this on a television. Only see it at the movie theater on a loud surround system, or don't watch it. Maybe with headphones or something. I don't know. Dr. Dre, some really nice headphones with surround sound. Like, the Atmos, the Dolby Atmos, whatever, spatializing thing, whatever. Something to enhance it, because this needs to be seen on a big screen and big speakers. It's crazy. Only way to absorb this film. Wow, developed a massive migraine. What in the world? That's what I'm saying. I don't think watching it on the TV works. You need to see it with speakers and get immersed in it. 6 out of 10, a good movie. Was expecting much higher. Yeah, I guess. No, not really. I don't think Tron is a hit like Star Wars. I don't think it's ingrained in society that much. People would pick Star Wars over this any day. You know what I mean? It's still good. It just doesn't, I don't think it hit like Star Wars, 10 out of 10, haters gonna hate. Of course, there's public opinion on Jared Leto who drags movies down. They're not true, whatever, blah, blah. I wish to have seen it in IMAX with a full immersion, but still, it kind of tempts me to see it again. Awesome. Soundtrack of the year. Never a dull moment. Stunning visuals. It is. It just goes. The movie continuously goes. 5 out of 10. Visually impressive, but emotionally empty. And this is what I said already in my review. People say that it's soulless. Well, I think it's justified because it's about AI. AI doesn't have a soul. This movie was about him kind of becoming human, but it wasn't really, So, I kind of agree with this one, but I think that it doesn't need the soul part, because it's AI, or an AI movie. Entertaining and visually stunning. 9 out of 10, the good is back and sounds and looks better than ever. 10 out of 10, decent sequel. 3 out of 10, nothingness. Wow, so much potential still missed. Style without a pulse. Interesting. Tron Ares aims for epic sci-fi scale, but stumbles from the start, mainly with its casting. Jared Leto feels too gentle and off-tone to convince us a hardened super soldier. Instead of an imposing military-type lead, we get a character whose personality hardly matches the roles he's meant to play. Oh, okay. The film leans heavily into a predictable assortment of diverse archetypes that feel more like checklist writing than authentic characterization. Interesting. Turning every figure into a symbolic stereotype rather than a compelling person. That is really interesting. That's a good one. Average mess, 6 out of 10. 1 out of 10. I lost my brains watching this. Anyway, so I'm just going to read a few of those. All right, so that's everything for this Tron Ares movie. I definitely recommend it. Whole lot of fun. Again, I had fun. I love this. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, it was weird, but I guess whatever. I thought it was a lot of fun. Definitely recommend it. Check out my review on my other channel. Comment down below about what you thought of the movie or what your favorite bit of trivia was. What did you think of the budget? Why did they have to put so much money into this and tried to spend less than the last one and failed? And then if you think they're gonna make Tron 4 because they said it was based off the success of this film, but I think they're gonna make it anyways because why wouldn't they? It's Disney. And they don't really consider reviews and all that as much. They kind of live in their own world and pushing out flops all the time, really.